Welcome, foot travelers. I'm Micah.
And I'm Simon. And here we are on another day in beautiful Las Vegas. We decided to start our afternoon by heading to Topgolf and seeing what kind of different foods they have and to kind of work on our swing. It's been a while since I hit a golf club, Micah.
Yeah, it's been a while for me as well. I think the last time I hit something was probably around Christmas time.
And golf has been becoming pretty popular, and Topgolf itself, I think, has helped to kind of increase everybody's notoriety of golf because it's an outdoor sport, and so everybody's trying it out. Myself, I do really enjoy golf, and here we are at Topgolf, and this is actually the second time that I've been to a Topgolf.
Yeah, it's also my second time as well with Topgolf. And for this experience, we did not have a reservation. We just walked in. For the day rates are way more affordable than the nighttime.
Yeah, so if you want to test it out and you're not sure if you like it, I definitely recommend coming during the mornings or afternoon because you'll pay a much lower price and you'll get to see if you actually like it or not. For me, I actually do like it. One of the things that's nice is you can have drinks, you can have food, and they kind of, instead of having your standard kind of driving range, you actually get to play a little bit of games and make it a little more interesting. Plus, they also provide the clubs for you, so you don't have to lug around, your golf club bag. So that's also nice.
Yeah, there's definitely bay sections where you can bring your own clubs as well, and having the top tracer is always great to see how far you hit and your swing speed and everything. With the Vegas view, yeah, sure, the daytime is less and just to get your feet wet and enjoy the games, but if you really want that night view of Vegas with all the lights and everything, that's definitely a different experience as well.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see that viewpoint as well, but if you don't mind, then during the day is definitely good. One of the things that I did like was that it wasn't as full too during the early afternoon. So definitely, if you go at night, that's when a majority of people will be coming. So you'll probably need to expect a crowd being over there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a great point. Yeah, I think having less crowded, it's a little bit more relaxed, more fun. It's not as rowdy too. There are heaters on here as well. I kind of kept my jacket on just to warm up because the heater does get pretty hot.
What did we order, Micah?
Oh yeah, so for the food, we ordered a bunch of shareable items from the appetizer part of the menu. The items are the cheese macaroni bites with ranch and tomato dipping sauce, the Trey's tacos with chicken, and Topgolf wings. They're bone-in, and the flavor we chose was lemon pepper. And last of all is the marinated steak sticks.
Yeah, out of all the dishes, I actually enjoyed the marinated steak sticks, which is kind of surprising because I was expecting it not to be so great, but it was actually pretty tender and had great flavor. It had a good zest, kind of seemed like it was like a lime or lemon zest with a little hint of kind of a spicy jalapeno cut pepper and a savory sweet sauce. It was very delicious, and that kind of wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it was actually really good.
Yeah, I thought those sticks were pretty tender and really good flavored as well. One of my favorite items of the things we ordered was the cheese macaroni bites. They had really good cheese inside every single bite, and it was just really good flavor overall, and it was crisp on the outside too.
And the other items, they were good as well. Nothing special to kind of point out. They're kind of your normal, wings and tacos. They're delicious and they're very good. So if those are something you want to order, definitely order them. But they weren't a surprise like the steak bites were for me.
Yeah, I think the wings, they were good, but they were not crispy enough and didn't have that wow factor to it like the other two items that we had. And after Topgolf, we headed over to the Wynn to check out the decorations in the atrium.
Yeah, and with the other casinos, they also did the decorations with the Lunar New Year. And in this case, they had this red dragon right above, and this is the Wynn. So it was actually really cool to go see and walk underneath that dragon.
And after the Wynn, we headed over to Venetian and checked out more Lunar New Year decorations.
And this is over at the Palazzo, and they have their little section where on the bottom floor you can actually walk through between the Palazzo and the Venetian itself. But this is also where Mott32 is, where we wanted to go have some dinner.
Yeah, and actually for Mott32, we did make reservations because this is a very popular restaurant. I actually went to the one in Vancouver, BC as well, and they have other locations in around the world, and such as in New York and also in Hong Kong as well.
And one of the dishes they're actually really popular for is the Peking Duck, which is something that is a must order if you do come try Mott32. But as you can see, this is actually located in the bottom floor as well, near the casinos, and so the slot machines are right around it, and you'll see the door with the entrance.
And even though it's right by all the casinos and everything, it's actually quite quiet inside once you go in.
And we had a little bit of an earlier dinner, so it wasn't too packed, which was nice because it allows us to kind of go through and film all the things without having too much of distractions all around.
Yeah, I think having the earlier dinner was great. Definitely less people, and you get better surface that way as well.
And one of the cool things about the interior is actually you can watch the chefs as they're preparing the dishes. Unfortunately, we were kind of further back. We had some really great seats, but we weren't next to the chefs cooking and preparing the food, as you saw.
But even so, if you do order that Peking Duck, they do have table-side carving, so you get to watch them prepare it and do everything before serving it to you.
Yeah, and that's something that you'll probably see in a whole bunch of social media posts is the carving, because they are very, very, very popular for doing that. And definitely it's one of those events where you get to take a picture or take film, and you get to see exactly how they do it for you.
Another thing is they will do the sauce, the dipping sauce for the Peking Duck, mixing it right in front of you, which they do it with the hoisin sauce, the peanut sauce, and the sesame sauce, and they just swirl it in front of you, and they call it the magic trick.
And it's pretty fun to watch. So the servers are great, and they're pretty interactive with you if you want to speak with them. What are all the dishes that we ordered?
We ordered the Peking Duck. We had the Peking Duck in 2 different ways. We had it with the duck with the wraps that come with it, and also Peking Duck with the soup. Another thing to mention is the Peking Duck is a applewood roasted 42-day duck. This is something that in certain restaurant locations, you do have to pre-order the duck. Since we came early enough, they had the Peking Duck available. From my understanding is in the Las Vegas location, they have roughly 28 to serve every single night. So after those are gone, it's sold out. Because I did watch a lot of videos from other reviews on this duck in the Vegas location, and a lot of people came late and they weren't able to try the Peking Duck. And one thing really great with the Peking Duck is it is made to order, so they will prepare it fresh for you. As for the dishes, we also had the soft quail egg Iberico pork with a black truffle siumai, and we also had the chicken clay pot with dry shallots and black bean sauce.
And as you can see in the video, you can see them expertly kind of removing all the little pieces and putting the dishes together. One of the greatest things, at least for me, and I think other people who've tried it, is that skin, that crispy duck skin that is just so delicious and nice and crispy, melts in your mouth, it hits your tongue, and it just kind of melts away. Delicious if you eat it by itself and just put some sauce on it, or if you stick it in the wrap like Micah mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they do have other options as well. I think for additional cost, you can also get with lettuce wraps. Those are also great option as well. Usually with the wraps, there is like you kind of like wrap it as like a, I think like a, is it burrito is what they would call it, where you just put a little bit of sauce, a little bit of cucumber, scallion. You get like one plate of the Peking duck skin, and then another plate just for the meats. So you mix those up together, and it creates a great taste.
And something to note with the duck soup, it's actually prepared with the bones and the remainder of the duck after the chef has cut up and set up all the little pieces for you from the duck. So that's actually pretty cool.
And another option is you can also, for additional cost, of course, instead of just soup, you can actually get as a fried rice dish as well. We didn't do that this trip, but I have tried it in the past, and it's also very tasty as well. One thing with Peking duck is there is a lot of fat content on it, but the way that they sliced it up, I thought they did a really good job. One of the things is with the skin, they also give you a brown sugar, so that actually enhances the flavor of it, and it's really good.
Yeah, you'll see in the video a little bit further that the different ways that we prepared it and how we like it. I usually like to taste it by itself first, and then it kind of gives me a good idea of what I want to put into it after. So that's, if something you're interested for a tip to do, that's something I would recommend, because it's one of those things where you want to see how it hits your palate first, and then it gives you a really good idea of what are the things you want to add into it to kind of add multiple layers of flavor, or to kind of enhance a certain flavor you want.
And one thing to note is the server will also tell you this is with all these wraps, there is a piece of paper film underneath each one of those wrap layers to separate them. You do want to be mindful of them and not put that into your mouth, otherwise you'll be eating paper.
Yeah, you have a nice mouthful of paper, and the flavor might not be the same if you do that, so it might not be as good as it could be. But I think even with having a little bit of that paper in there, it still probably tastes really good, because it is one of the best dishes.
Yeah, and they do a really good job steaming it. They give you plenty of wraps. There's a lot of Asian restaurants I've been to in the past where they don't give you enough wraps, so you end up having too much duck meat left over and not enough wraps to wrap them up.
But even so, I mean, of course, having enough wraps is always great. But for me, if I just have to eat the duck meat itself, I'd be more than happy just to eat the duck and the skin with the sauce as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have plenty of that. Just the duck by itself. That is definitely something you have to try for Mott32. Don't just come Mott32 and order all the dim sum dishes and be dissatisfied with your visit. This is like a signature dish from Mott. It's the Peking duck.
Yeah, and we noticed pretty much everybody who came in after, because we were one of the first. I believe maybe one or two other people were there at the beginning, but as people started kind of streaming in, as I kind of looked around and saw what kind of place they ordered, you definitely know people were getting the Peking duck.
I know they have other dishes that are probably signature as well, but for us, the Peking duck was the main attraction for this visit. As for that clay pot chicken with black bean sauce, I feel like that one was done well, but it was not special. It was not anything special to me.
I agree, and I think there's a little bit of bias in the sense of when you just have the Peking duck when it's so good, and then you have these other dishes where they're good on their own right, but just when you're eating it compared to the delicious Peking duck, it's almost like, unfair for that dish to be put up against another dish that is just so great.
And you can see here in the video, I'm pouring the soup into the bowls ourselves, so it's mainly just for shooting the video to show that. The server will actually fill each bowl for you, but we requested them not to do it. And to wrap up our video episode, here are our notables. For the first one is the cheese macaroni bites. I chose this one because of their crunchy texture, and there's lots of cheese with every single bite, so it lives up to its name.
And for our second notable is from Topgolf, the marinated steak sticks. Surprisingly very nice and tender, very, very huge hit of flavor with zest, a little bit of spice, sweetness and savory, delicious sticks that, wonderful snack to have while you are hitting golf balls.
And for the last notable is the Peking Duck from Mott32. This is a very, very great dish. It's their signature dish. If you come to Mott and you don't order this, I feel like you kind of cheated yourself.
Yes, you definitely have to order this because you will be cheating yourself if you do not grab this dish.
Yeah, this has a really great meat to fat ratio. It's very crispy skin, and it's one of the few places that mix and executes really, really well for a Peking duck.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.